All right, I'm here with Susan Reichle, who is wearing many hats. Susan is the president and CEO of IYF and also a SID board member. So, Susan, tell us what has stood out to you. I think the inclusion message has been a big one, obviously the theme of the conference. What has that meant for you and for, first maybe for SID, and then we'll talk a little bit about IYF.
Yeah, no, it's been a really exciting conference. The theme of inclusion is huge, but I really like to see how we're moving forward in the development community with racial and ethnic equity, which is much deeper and broader than that. And it was fabulous today to see the lunchtime panel really echoing the importance of this and forming coalition around racial and ethnic equity and development because the younger generation is demanding it.
Well, speaking of the younger generation, tell us a little bit about what's happening at IYF and how is the theme of inclusion playing out in your programming and in the work that you're doing around the world.
Yeah, well, for IYF, 32 years ago when the organization was founded and people were not talking about youth development, it was really a pioneering organization to make sure that youth voices were heard. And now we see today, 32 years later, really at the forefront. And what we're so proud of at IYF is the number of, organizations that are focused on the issue of investing in young people, and particularly with the private sector. And I guess that's what I'm so excited about being at an organization like IYF, where, it really has pioneered so much work. And just one concrete example, our partnership with Google during the pandemic, when young women were trapped at home and they didn't have access to education and opportunities. They had a lot of responsibilities at home. Our partnership with Google to have ICT certificates gave them opportunities, and we see the results now, and it's phenomenal.
And if I'm not mistaken, that program was just recently lauded for the results. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it started as a small pilot program in Mexico, and what we learned from those results, where more than 50% of the participants were young women who normally in that sector, only about 30% go into the ICT sector. And the results were so phenomenal that Google then awarded it a challenge grant, and now it's a global program. And I'm super excited to see what we'll do in the future with it.
That's amazing. And Susan, last question for you. So this is totally unrehearsed. Susan, you spent many years in this building, right? You spent a lot of your life in this building working for USAID. What's it like here and to be back in person at this conference wearing a very different hat?
Well, I'm a proud USAID alum, just as Sharon is a very proud IYF alum. So it's wonderful to be back. It's great to see so many people. I, never thought I'd love and miss the Ronald Reagan building so much, but it's because, this is where we all come together, and it really takes all of us working together.
Well, we're going to leave it there. Susan Reichle, IYF, SID board member, thank you so much for all the work that you do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sharon.